At street level, you are surrounded by the dense, steaming energy of a traditional market. Look up, and the ancient alleyway instantly vanishes into the clouds, swallowed by a canopy of steel and glass. This is Shanghai. With over 25 million residents, it is China's most populous urban center, responsible for over 4.5 trillion yuan in annual foreign trade. To comprehend a metropolis of this staggering scale, you cannot simply look at the skyline. To understand how a city this massive actually functions, you have to drop back down to the microscopic, human level. The city's current dominance relies on a logic built over a century ago, rooted in its historic, tightly woven urban fabric. That foundation begins here, in the Lilong. These traditional lane neighborhoods are defined by shikumen, or stone gate houses, the city's primary residential template for decades. Emerging in the mid-19th century, these structures are a transcultural synthesis. Local builders took the layout of Western row houses and reimagined them using traditional Jiangnan courtyard craftsmanship. This environment fostered Hai-Pai culture. Hai-Pai describes a specific Shanghai identity defined by a pragmatic, immigrant-driven work ethic that welcomed new technologies and ideologies. This top-down vector layout shows why that culture formed. Because physical space was so limited, individual private row houses had to funnel directly into shared communal alleyways for daily chores and social life. Living shoulder to shoulder with thousands of neighbors from different regions forced a shift in social habits. The intense physical proximity within the lanes forged the collaborative civic mindset required to operate a global metropolis. Move outward to the former French concession, and the architecture shifts to shaded avenues of plane trees and walkable blocks. Today, this area drives the city's modern boutique retail economy and city walk tourism. While originally established through colonial expansion, the city did not treat this neighborhood as a static relic. Instead, Shanghai integrated these Western aesthetics into its own identity, repurposing the historic villas as modern commercial hubs. You see this again at the Bund. Lined with grand neoclassical and Art Deco towers, this riverfront strip was the headquarters for the international banks and trading houses that made Shanghai the financial capital of Asia. These layers show a recurring pattern. Shanghai absorbs global architectural styles and adapts them to serve its own commercial evolution. Directly across the river sits Pudong. As recently as the 1990s, this east bank was a stretch of warehouses and undeveloped industrial land. Today, it is the Lujiazui Financial District. The sheer density of its super-tall structures represents a vertical growth spurt that used 20% of the world's construction cranes to build. The center of this growth is the Shanghai Tower, a twisting glass spire reaching 632 meters into the sky. Despite its futuristic appearance, the tower's interior is built around 9 sky gardens. These were designed specifically to mimic the traditional horizontal courtyards of the Lilong, blurring the boundary between indoor and outdoor social space. By weaving these shared public zones thousands of feet into the air, the tower functions as a vertical continuation of the city's original communal street life. This vertical ambition is supported by massive physical infrastructure. The Yangshan Deepwater Port is the world's busiest container facility, the primary gateway for a trade network that reaches over 160 countries. This chart tracks the city's record high trade volume, which hit $647 billion in 2025. While textiles once drove the economy, the current surge is led by advanced manufacturing, with surgical robot exports increasing by 370%. To maintain this output, the city relies on internal arteries, like the Shanghai Metro. It is one of the world's longest transit systems, moving millions of people through its stations every day. The system operates on a high-tech edge, featuring full 5G network coverage across the entire subway network to ensure constant data connectivity for its workforce. Shanghai functions as a synchronized machine, where physical shipping lanes and digital transit networks are integrated to dominate the global market. Even a machine this efficient has physical limits. Rapid expansion has led to extreme overcrowding and the demolition of historic residential neighborhoods. To address this, officials launched the Shanghai 2035 Master Plan. It represents a policy shift away from sprawl and toward zero-growth land management. This plan enforces strict constraints. Population is capped at 25 million, and a hard boundary limits construction land to 3,200 square kilometers. With borders locked, the city pivots to a sponge city framework of green zones to manage environmental strain. The city's strategy for survival is turning inward, optimizing the resources it already has, rather than attempting to expand forever. From the human-scaled alleyways of the Shikumen to the soaring heights of Pudong, the city's geography records how Shanghai adapts to survive. It is easy to view these landscapes as a conflict between the old world and the new, or a struggle between Eastern and Western styles. But the city is more cohesive than that. It is a layered system where each distinct era of architecture provides the social and commercial foundation for the next. Shanghai remains a premier global city because it anchors its futuristic ambitions within the same pragmatic, communal habits that built the city a century ago.